everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this super colorful tree ornament. Look at how cool that is. We are going to be using many different colors today, and I'll show you how to make this piece. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn for this project. I am using 10 different colors, and actually I think it's 11 different colors, which for this color adds in there. And we're using all these different colors, and it's just a scrap project, and then we're making this cute little star at the end. And then we're having this little loop, and you can hang it on your Christmas tree, add it to a gift for someone this holiday season so they can hang it on their tree. It's a lot of fun to make this little piece, so I'll show you how to do that. Now, I won't have the specific colors, I won't say all those colors in this video, but you can check out YARNutopia.com where you'll get the free written pattern, and in the materials you will need section, it will have these specific color names if you want to get the Red Heart Super Saver yarns that correspond with the colors. You can get them on redheart.com or any craft store. We are using an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters. This fancy hook I told you in the last video for the other ornament that we made is this fancy hook is from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy, and I was holding it like this. I usually hold my hook like this, but you can hold your hook like this too. For a lot of you crocheters who do crochet like this. This hook is super fabulous. It's ergonomic, hand carved, handcrafted, and the look of these hooks are just super fabulous. There's so much detail in there, and I absolutely love these hooks. I promote them every time I make a video because they are the best. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle for cutting yarn, sewing things together, sewing some ends, and all that good stuff. So before we make this, what I'm going to do in this tutorial is teach you how to make one of these. I'm only going to show you how to make this largest circle down here, okay? And if you make this large circle, you'll be able to make all of these circles, okay? And I will show you and tell you which ones, how many of each color to make for the stitch count. And that is also in the written pattern of this project, so you'll see that because there's two of the same size. So two of this size, two of this size, two here, these two are the same size, these two are the same size, these two are the same size, these two, and then there's one little tiny one on top that doesn't have, it's just one single one. So this is in a multiple of 6, so it should be pretty simple to teach you this. And then this bottom here, we have a little stump, and then we also have this star to do as well. And then once we have all of these pieces all finished, we'll be able to attach them with this loop right here. This goes all the way through from this piece all the way up and through, so we have a little nice little ornament. So that's how that's made. Before we begin, I have to mention there's links in the description of this video. So there's a link to the blog where you'll get the free written pattern, links to all the supplies where you can get them, and these hooks are great for the holiday season too. You can get them before Christmas and gift somebody you love who loves to crochet. I think that's a great gift to give. And then also there's links to my Facebook and Instagram, so if you make this or make any of my projects, be sure to hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your beautiful crochet work. Alright, so now let's get started and make this colorful tree ornament. Alright, we're going to start from the top of the tree and work our way down. So I am going to just use one color, and I'm not going to fasten off, but I'll let you know when to fasten off for each piece. So this is the very top of the tree. So I'm going to show you how to make this piece first. And you just have to make one of these pieces. So I'm going to use this coral color, but you can use the blue color that I used. I used royal. So let's make a slip knot. Okay, for every piece, this is how you're going to start. Make a slip knot, so put your short end over your long end, fold that down, and then pull your long end through and pull tight, and then insert your hook. Okay, so for all the pieces, you'll do this round 1. Okay, so yarn over and pull through. We're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. And we're going to put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. So go in to that second chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So there's 1, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, 5, and 6. Okay. At this point, you want to fasten off if you're starting from the top making this piece here. You want to fasten off. To fasten off, I'll show you this. We are going to slip stitch into this first stitch right here, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook, okay? And then cut your yarn. You can cut it short and then just weave in your ends. I am not fastening this piece off yet though, because I'm making the biggest piece. I'm going to continue on going, okay? So if you are making the top piece first, just make one of these and fasten off for round 1. That's 6 stitches around. So for piece number 2, we have 2 rounds to do, okay? This is piece number 2. We're going to make 2 of these, okay? I made one in violet and cherry red, and we're making 2 of these. We are repeating round 1, so you have your 6 stitches in the second chain from the hook, so that's round 1. And for piece number 2, we are going to go on to the next round. If you need to, you can put a stitch marker in here to mark your rounds. I just have a little scrap piece of yarn here of a different color. So we're going to mark our rounds by putting this in here. If you have a legit stitch marker, you can mark your rounds that way too. But for round 2, for piece number 2, and for the rest of the pieces, round number 2 says to put 2 single crochets into every stitch around. So go into this first stitch right here. We're working in continuous rounds now. So go into this first stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, and we're going to hop to the next stitch and put 2 single crochets in there. So 1 and 2. And just repeat that all the way around. Next stitch gets 2 single crochets. So at the end of round 2, on the rest of these pieces now, you'll have 12 single crochets. Now for piece number 2, in the written pattern, piece number 2, you're only making 2 of those. Okay, so I'm just gonna, and you can make them each a different color. So I made one in violet and one in cherry red. And once you come back to the beginning here, let's just make sure we have our 12 stitches. So you can count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Awesome. So at this point, if you were just making piece number 2, you can fasten off. We're just going to go into this next stitch, yarn over, and then pull that through and through the loop on your hook, and then fasten that off. But I'm going to continue with this color here. We are going to go on to making piece number 3. So for piece number 3, we have to increase again. So you are going to make rounds 1 and 2, so you have the 12 stitches, and then we're going to increase again. So this is piece number 3. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bigger than piece number 2. These are piece number 2, this is piece number 3, and you can see they're a tad bigger. We're going to do one more round with those. So piece number 3 has 18 stitches around. We're making 2 of those. I have one in perfect pink and one in the coral. That's the same coral that I'm demonstrating with. So we have 2 of those. So you're going to do rounds 1 and 2 for piece number 3, and then round 3 for piece number 3 goes like this. We're going to move our stitch marker up. We are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1. And repeat that sequence all the way around. So it'll be 6 repeats of this. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1. Okay, I'll show you one more time. 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next. So I'm halfway there, so I'm just going to repeat this round, or repeat this sequence all the way around, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, just finishing this round here. Alright, so if you're making piece number 3, you want to fasten off at this point. So like I showed you in the last round, just slip stitch into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through and through, and then fasten off. But I am going to go on to showing you piece number 4. So piece number 4 is going to be increased even more. So here is the pieces for piece number 4. I'm making 2 of these as well, both different colors. This color is spring green, and this color is medium thyme. So I'm going to be making 2 of piece number 4. So you want to repeat rounds 1, 2, and 3 for piece number 4, and then we can go on to round 4. We're going to move our stitch marker up. We're going to increase this a little bit more. So this is piece number 4, and this is round 4. We are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. Okay, and we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So I'll show you again. We're going to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1 and 1. Alright, and just repeat. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 4, for all these pieces, we are going to have 24 stitches around. So I'm just going to repeat that, and then I'll meet you up for the next round. Alright, just finishing that stitch there. So if you were finishing piece number 4, you would fasten off at this point. So just slip stitch into this next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through and through for a slip stitch, and then fasten off. But I am not going to fasten off yet. I want to show you how to make piece number 5. So piece number 5, again, is a little bit bigger. And here are the 2 pieces. We're making 2 of piece number 5. And this is hunter green, and then this color is called pool. So those are the 2 that I'm using for piece number 5. And what you want to do is repeat rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then once you finish round 4, we can go on to round 5 here. We're going to move this piece up, the stitch marker up. And for round 5, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So here's 1, hop to the next, here's 2, go to the next, and here's 3. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches for this round. And then at the end of round 5, you should have 30 single crochets. So I'm going to repeat the sequence all the way around. I should have my 30 stitches, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, I just finished round 5, so if you're making piece number 5, we are going to fasten this off. So just slip stitch into this next stitch, and then yarn over, pull through and through, and then fasten off. But I am not going to fasten this piece off. I want to show you how to make piece number 6. So piece number 6, again, we're going to make 2 pieces of piece number 6. And we're going to increase again. This color is called blue, and this color is called royal. Okay, so we have this and this piece here. This is piece number 6. We are going to continue on. You want to repeat rounds 1 through 5, and then we can go on to round 6. So let's move our stitch marker up. For round number 6, for piece number 6, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1, and go back in for 2, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches this round. So go into this next stitch. Here's 1, next stitch is 2, next stitch is 3, and this next stitch is 4. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch to increase, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just repeat. So at the end of round 6 you should have 36 stitches. So I am going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, just finished round 6 there. So if you were making piece number 6, at this point you want to fasten off. So just slip stitch into this next stitch and fasten off. But I'm not going to fasten off yet. I want to show you piece number 7. So piece number 7, we have to increase again. You can see I have 2 of those as well. This color is violet, and this color is cherry red. So I'm using these 2 colors and making 2 pieces for piece number 7. So for piece number 7, you want to repeat rounds 1 through 6 of this little circle here. Then move your stitch marker up. And round 7 is, we are going to put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches this round. So you can kind of see the increase, you know, every round is just 1 more of these. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And just repeat that sequence then all the way around. Put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2. Then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, you should have 42 single crochets. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for the next step. Alright, once you're finished with that round, you can fasten off if you're making piece number 7. So just slip stitch into this next stitch, fasten off, and finish piece number 7. Now, I just want to show you one more round because we're going to make piece number 8. And I'm making 2 of piece number 8. This is the first one. This is perfect pink. And then this coral piece I'm actually demonstrating to you is going to be my other piece. So I'll show you piece number 8 right here. We're going to repeat rounds 1 through 7 for piece number 8, and then go on to round 8 here. We are going to move our stitch marker up. We are going to put 2 single crochets in this first stitch. And then I'm sure you've already guessed it. We are going to put 1 single crochet in the next 6 stitches for this round. Okay, so 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in this next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. So at the end of round 8, you'll have 48 stitches all the way around. I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up, and we'll go on to the next step together. Alright, when you're finishing piece number 8, we can fasten this off. So let's go into this last stitch, or this next stitch right here. Yarn over, pull through and through, just like I told you how to fasten off the rest of the pieces. And then chain 1, and we'll cut our yarn, and then pull that all the way through, and pull it tight to secure it. We can remove the stitch marker if you have one, and this is what your last piece should look like. So each piece is you're going to fasten off, you're going to have this strand, and we have to sew them in. So what I'm going to do is take my yarn needle in this middle here, and this is kind of a key, actually. You want this middle circle right here to be really tight, like really, really tight, because you want it to secure to the strand of yarn when we attach it later. And I'll show you what I mean later, but I'm just going to go underneath the base of the stitches from round 1. Okay, this is the back of my work, by the way. And I'm just going to sew this end in, and again into here, and then we just want to cinch it really tightly to close that. Okay, so you want that little circle, little hole to be completely secured closed, and then just go underneath a few more stitches here and pull. Okay, and that is safe to trim down then, just like that. And then this other piece here, we want to sew this in. So I'm just going to yarn my needle here, go to the back of your work, go underneath a few of the stitches, and pull. Okay, then what you want to do, if you want to, you can flatten these pieces. Some of them might cone or bowl up a little bit, so you can just lay them down and kind of just spread them out, kind of flatten them out, stretch them if you need to kind of make them more flatter. Okay, just like that. So here are all my pieces. Here we have this coral piece, this pink piece. So these two are piece number 8. Then piece number 7, we have this cherry color and this violet color. I'm trying to see where I fastened off. I can't even tell. Right here and right here. Okay, I'm just gonna line up my fastened off sides, but that's just personal preference. So we're just stacking these. So this is piece number 8, piece number 7. Here's piece number 6. We have 2 of those. Okay, just kind of flatten them out. Here's piece number 5. Here's piece number 4. There's 2 of each there. Piece number 3. Piece number 2. And the only piece that only has 1 piece is piece number 1 at the very top. Okay, so there is our cone so far. Alright, so that's all stacked up. So now we want to, we can actually make the stump first, and then we'll attach all these pieces. So let's set all of these aside. Get your brownish yarn. I'm using, I think this is called warm brown, but I think it might be off, it's really similar to warm brown, and the name of it is escaping me right now, but we are going to make a stump out of this brownish color. So the tree trunk, we are going to do a slip knot. So I showed you how to do that earlier. Okay, we are going to insert our hook in there and chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, 1 and 2. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to put 6 single crochets. So you know how to do this already. You did it on every single one of those pieces so far. So 6 single crochets in this second chain from the hook. Here's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Awesome. Then we're going to stick our stitch marker in here and go on to round 2. And round 2 says to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So that was basically round 2 of all the pieces that you just made. So I'm just going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch, so there will be 12 single crochets in this round, round 2. And then when I'm finished with round 2, I'll meet you up. We'll go on to round 3 together. Alright, just finished round 2 here, so we have 12 single crochets around. Going to move the stitch marker up, and for rounds 3 through 7, we are going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so no more increasing. We are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around for rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's 5 rounds, okay? So once I'm finished with round 7, I will meet you up. I'll show you what to do next. Alright, I just finished rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch. We're going to fasten off, so go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then chain 1. We're going to cut our yarn long for sewing, so just cut it a little bit longer, and then pull it all the way through that chain 1 there, and pull tight, remove your stitch marker, and there is your tree stump. Now if you have some polyfill, I'd recommend you filling this with some polyfill. Just I have a little bit here. There we go. Stuff a little bit more in there. And we will attach that later. So I'm going to set this aside. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to use my same brown yarn that I used for this tree trunk here. I'm going to use that for attaching all the pieces. So let's grab this here. Okay, we have our our tree pieces here. And what we're going to do is take a pretty long strand, I would say about a yard of this yarn here, maybe a little over a yard. And we're going to cut that in half and we're going to fold it in half, just like this. Okay, so it's folded in half. And we're going to take this side with the closed half right here, this half, and we're going to yarn our needle with that half. Okay, so we're going to fold this over, yarn the needle so that this loop is hanging out. Okay, just like this. Then what we're going to do is start from the bottom of this tree here. We're going to flip these over, kind of keep them in order if you can. Take from the bottom. Now you can see that what the top looks like and what the bottom looks like. So if you can see your stitches up top here, if you can see these stitches, this is the top. Okay? If you flip this over, you can't see those stitches and it looks kind of different on this side. This is the back of your work and this is the front of your work. So you want to see this part. You want to turn this to the side here. We're going to go from the bottom and work our way up. So through the bottom center, right here where we cinched it all closed, we're going to go into that tight center and we're going to slide this through. And it is going to be a little tough, which is what we want. So just pull that all the way through. Okay, and then drop that color and hop to the next one. And grab this, go into the center where you cinched it closed, and go through there, and then pull tight and slide all the way, and just stack them on top of each other. Okay, go to the next one, and I'll do it a little bit faster. Just slide them and stack them. And yeah, they might bowl up a little bit, but you can straighten that out later. So just go through the centers and pull down on all of these pieces. And some might be tougher than others, which is fine. Awesome. Okay, once we have them all secure on this little strand, they will be on here, and then we can start with the next step. Let me just do a few more here. And then you can position these. If they're like really tight on the strand of yarn, that's kind of good because you kind of want to like be able to position these to space them out a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second here. I just have like 4 more pieces to attach. And our little last mini one. Awesome. Okay, so now what we want to do, since this is the top of our ornament right here, we want to pull this through back down here. Just as long as you want this piece to be. So probably a little bigger. There we go. You can remove this needle here. Okay, so that's how long I want my loop to be. Can you see that? Just zoom out just a little bit. This is how long I want my loop to be to hang on the tree, and the star will come in this area, so it will really only be this much to hang on a tree branch here. So now we have this long strand through the bottom. So what we're going to do is kind of separate these pieces just a little bit, however much you want, really. It's up to you. Kind of give it space and dimension, like some height. How about that? Make it loose, make it good. Okay. Once it's secure and everything, you want to tie a knot. So we're going to kind of make a slip knot like this, kind of twist this, then bring this up through that loop. Okay, and then pull that and pull it tight. Okay, because you don't want these to move. And I'm going to do it twice because I really don't want these to move. I'm not going to cut this short though because I'm going to actually stuff this inside of the trunk, and we're actually going to sew this to the trunk as well. This top part as well, we want to tie this in a knot, so I'm just going to flip this and tie this down. But there's really nothing to worry about up top here because the star is also going to be sewn up top here too. Just like that. Okay, so I tied that and I tied the bottom here. Now we want to grab our trunk. We're going to put this right in the center right there. Okay, so we're going to grab our yarn needle. We are going to, actually, you know what, we'll sew this to our trunk first. So take these 2 strands and yarn your needle with those. And we're literally just going to tie a knot around inside of our trunk here. So attach this to your trunk on the inside, anywhere, really. We just want to attach it just so that this doesn't fall off. There we go. Okay, and make sure your pieces are stretched down. Awesome. And then what you can do is actually you can stuff this inside of the trunk. Let me see here. Let me wrap this around my fingers real quick. So you can knot it if you want or just leave it. It should be secure and good. You can stuff this inside the trunk or cut it short after you knot it. Alright, so now that's inside of the trunk. Nobody would ever know. Then now what we're going to do is grab our yarn needle with that strand that we cut on the trunk to fasten that piece off. And we're going to sew it to our last piece on here. So this coral piece, we're just going to go into it. Okay. And then pull that. Then go through to the next stitch. And pull. Okay, so I'm just attaching this trunk to the last piece, the last disc piece. Okay, you have to really be careful with it though, so it doesn't all come falling apart or anything. I made my first one and it all like slid off the other end. So that's why I tied that knot up top. So make sure that it was all secure. So almost done. And then once this is done, we can crochet our star. Okay, so to fasten this piece off, oops, I just have 2 more stitches. Sorry guys, let me hurry up here. I mean, you can take your time. Take your time and make sure that it is nice and pretty and in the center and everything. Alright, so once we are fastening off, we're going to go to the inside here, up top, right in here, and we're just going to go around a couple of stitches. Okay, keep our finger in that loop. Okay, and then come back through that loop and pull that tight. Awesome. Then what we can do is shove this into the trunk down below here and pull it all the way. Grab our scissors and trim that. Awesome. Then you can kind of separate the pieces as you see fit, and you have your little tree. Almost done, you guys. I just want to flatten this out a little better, make it look more like a tree. It is so cute. Oh my goodness. Sorry, my arm was in front of it. There we go. It looks good so far. So now we are going to make the star. So let's set this aside. I have to grab some gold yarn and I'll be right back. Alright, for the star, we're going to start off with a slip knot. I have some gold yarn for the golden star. And we are going to chain 2, so yarn over and pull through 1 and 2, and in that second chain from the hook, instead of putting 6 single crochets like we've been doing so much so far this tutorial, we are going to put 10 single crochets in there. So go into that second chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. So we have to put 10 of those in there. So that was 1, here's 2, 3, 4, I'm going to go a little faster, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we are going to slip stitch to the first single crochet. So if you need to count back 10, go into the very first single crochet stitch. You can go under both loops there just like that, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And that was round 1. Now for round 2 of this star, we are going to make the points. So we are going to, let's see here, chain up 4. Let's do a chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet. So the loop on the hook doesn't count, so count 1 and 2. This chain right here, I'm going to go to the back of the chain where there's that back ridge. Okay, I'm going to go in under that, and I'm going to make a single crochet. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. In the next chain, we are going to, let's see here, half double crochet. So yarn over, go into this next chain right here, then yarn over and pull it through that chain. So now we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And that's a half double crochet. In this last chain right here, we are going to put a double crochet. So yarn over, go into that last chain. You can see I'm going into that back ridge right there. Yarn over and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on your hook. And then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops on your hook. Now what we're going to do is skip this next stitch on round 1, and we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch right here. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. And there is our first point. Awesome! So let's continue. Let's repeat what we did. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Single crochet into the second chain from the hook. I just like to work in those back ridges. I just think it's a cleaner look to the stitches. So single crochet in the second chain right there. Then half double crochet into the next chain right here. And then double crochet into that last chain right here. So double crochet, and then we're going to skip 1 stitch on round 1 and slip stitch into the next stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And there is point number 2. Okay, so just repeat that 3 more times to get the 5 points of the star. I'm going to do that, and then I will meet you up when I'm about to fasten off. When you're finished with your last point, you want to slip stitch into the first stitch. So skip this last stitch right here and just go where this first one is, right in here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and there is your cute little star. All right, now we just have a few more things we got to do. Let's fasten off with a long tail for sewing. So chain 1, cut your tail long and pull that through, and then pull it really tight to secure it. Okay, grab that yarn needle and sew this center in, just like we sewed in the centers of each of those circles we made. Just go under the base of these stitches from round 1 and just cinch that tight, and that cinches closed. Okay, and a little bit more here, there we go, and then we can trim that short. Now with this long tail, we are going to attach it to our tree up top here. So how we're going to do this, we're going to attach it to this knot and this yarn here. If you want to, you can attach it to this top piece as well. So what I'm going to do is position this how I want it. Okay, just like this. I'm going to yarn my needle with the long strand of this gold star. Okay, we're going to put this as a topper. So now we're going to go into this brown strand. Okay. And then back through the star. Okay, then back through to these strands. I don't know if it's that difficult to see. There we go, you can see that. So we're just going back and forth. And I just want to make sure that it is secure. There. So I'm just going to make sure it's secure before I tie it in a knot. I'm just going to hold this up and kind of play around with it. Awesome. Wow, that looks really nice. Alright, once it's secure, what we're going to do is tie this off in a knot. So we're just going to go underneath some of these stitches and then come back through that loop and pull tight. And then we could just weave in this end around this piece. There you go. And then grab your yarn or your scissors and cut your yarn. And there it is. The colorful tree is complete. Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this super fun, fabulous ornament. That was so awesome. Big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn. Big thank you to my dad back there who's filming all of these tutorials. He films all the tutorials at YARNutopia. He works so hard. And make sure you check out the YARNutopia website and the Facebook page. If you make this, please hashtag YARNutopia if you're going to post this picture on Instagram. I would love to see this in your Christmas tree this year, so make sure to take your photos and share your work. And until next time, happy hooking!